Now that the yeast has done its yeasting, and we're just gonna throw it in here and just use your hands to knead it, and keep kneading it until a good consistency. Now that I finished kneading the dough, well, actually I had to wet my hands a couple of times just to get the dough a little more moist. So I needed about 3-4 minutes. Now that's done, I preheat the oven to 100 degrees, and then I'm just gonna throw it in there for about 2 hours. See you then. You start with 4 cups of flour, and I already mixed in 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of salt, and I used my hand to mix it a little bit. And now I have about a little bit over of a cup of water. I microwave the water for about 40 seconds in my microwave just to get it lukewarm. Tossed in a tiny bit of sugar and a little bit of yeast. You don't need to use the whole packet. Usually I find that the rice is just the same with half packet. But anyway, I tossed in just a little tiny bit of yeast. And there you go. Now I'm just waiting for the yeast to rise, and then we'll start mixing. And now that it's been rising for over 2 hours, it's almost tripled. So what I'm going to do is, using plenty of flour, I prepare a sheet, and then I'm going to grab the dough gently, trying not to deflate it as much as possible, and make little rolls. Okay, now that I got it out, very gently, try not to deflate it as much as possible. What I'm going to do is roll this into like a squarish, and fold it over itself a few times. 1, 2, pushing down as we go. Now you have the reason you roll is so you can roll each dough and all the air rising will be inside, so you give it a honeycomb material. And then you just place it there and wait for another 20 to 30 minutes for it to rise one more time. So now I'm just going to keep going. Roll, push, roll, push, roll, push. And this one's really a little more spaghetti. And then I'm just going to keep going until I fill the whole tray. Now that I've let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, it's nicely risen, and preheated the oven to 450 degrees. Now we're just going to score it. So, you want a really sharp knife and quick motion. Okay. Now we just toss it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then we should have our bread. Okay, and this is the end result. After a little over 20 minutes, we got our baguette-ish bread. There you go. So they're cooling and they're hard on the outside, and probably gonna be pretty crunchy on the inside.